Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you for coming here this afternoon. Before I forget, I certainly want to thank the City of Harrisburg for making this facility available to us to make this announcement. My name is John Hodge. I am the Chief Operating Officer for the Stephen Siller Tunnel2Towers Foundation out of New York City. We are a 9/11 foundation born out of the tragedy that occurred on September 11th, 2001. We're here today as a direct result of the tragedy that happened in your city just a little over 24 hours ago. We have an announcement that we would like to make, and to make that announcement, I'd like to introduce our CEO and Chairman, Frank Siller, to say a few words.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Mayor, for having us here tonight, Commissioner. It saddens me to be here today, but I knew it was our duty and our obligation to make sure that we as Americans come together to take care of the family that was left behind of Deputy U.S. Marshal Christopher David Hill, who was killed yesterday in the line of duty. He leaves behind a wife and 2 young children. Deputy Hill was responding to a warrant for arrest of an individual wanted on suspicion of illegal possession of firearms and making terrorist threats. I never met Deputy Hill, but I know what type of person he was. He's a man that served his country in Afghanistan while he was serving in the U.S. Army. When he returned home, he became a U.S. Marshal. He was a member of a special operations force in which less than 1% get to serve in. He was involved in so many situations that put his life in danger. What an American hero who paid and made the ultimate sacrifice. The Stephen Siller Tunnel2Towers Foundation was born of the sacrifice that my brother made on September 11, 2001. Stephen was finished his night tour in Squad 1 in Brooklyn and on his way home when he heard on the radio scanner that the buildings were hit. He turned his truck around, went back to the firehouse, got his gear, drove to the mouth of the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, which was closed for security reasons, strapped 60 pounds of gear on his back. The Brooklyn Battery Tunnel is nearly 2 miles long. He ran through that tunnel, up West Street, to the South Tower, up the stairs into that burning inferno to save others, in which he made the ultimate sacrifice while saving others. We started the foundation to honor him and the sacrifice that he made and so many others made that day, which brings us to the fact that since September 11, 2001, there has been a tremendous price paid by our men and women in uniform and by our first responders around this country. And we must, as a nation, come together to make sure that we say to these families, if your husband or your wife go out and protect our streets and our neighborhoods and our country, that if something happens to them, that we, as Americans, are going to take care of the family left behind who died in the line of duty. Which brings me to the special announcement that we're going to make here today. The Tunnel2Towers Foundation wants to take the lead in raising the money to pay off Deputy U.S. Marshal Christopher David Hill's mortgage. We're starting the campaign. The Tunnel2Towers is making the first donation of $100,000 to pay off their mortgage. And our promise, our commitment, is that in a very, very short period of time, that Deputy Hill's family will never have to worry about their home again. God knows they have enough to deal with. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Frank. Just to make sure the announcement is clear, we are kicking in the first $100,000. And we're asking the public, residents, Pennsylvania, and from the United States of America to come forward and assist us in a fundraising effort so we can complete the money needed to buy out this mortgage. We have done it consistently. If you go and look at us, our story online, you will see that we've done it consistently, year after year, starting with the assassination of Detectives Lou Ramos a few years ago in New York City. At this point, I would like to add or ask Inspector William Pugh of the U.S. Marshal's Office and a co-worker of Marshall Hill to come on up and say a few words, please.
I'd like to thank all of you all for coming here today. As you know, it's for tragic reasons. I would like to thank the Tunnel2Towers Foundation for coming here today and make this generous donation to Deputy Hill's family. And on behalf of the United States Marshal Service, we just want to extend that gratitude as well. It's just a tragic situation for all of us. It's been very hard on us fellow deputies here in the Middle District of Pennsylvania. We would just ask, just please with media, just keep in mind the family with the tragic situation they're dealing with, and just allow them time to mourn. Thank you all for coming, and I appreciate it. Again, it's a very tragic situation, but again, thank you to your organization. Chris is definitely a fallen hero, and to honor him, it's very much appreciated that organizations such as yours are stepping forward to make that donation to the family. And I also would like to thank the Harrisburg City and the surrounding communities for their outpouring of support for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Inspector. At this time, I'd like to ask Mayor Pappenflus to please come on up and say a few words. And once again, Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for making this facility available today.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you. I know yesterday Harrisburg made the national news for really all the wrong reasons, but sometimes out of great tragedy human compassion can reveal itself, and we can see the greatness of people coming together and trying to do something very positive. And it was with great joy that we received this contact from the Tunnel2Towers Foundation and worked together to put this on today. I don't think it can ever be overstated the degree to which our first responders, our police officers, our U.S. Marshals, our firefighters go to work every day to put their lives on the line to protect the public. Now, when they say goodbye to their wives and families, they never know if this might be the last time they'll say that goodbye. And the sacrifice that those families make is absolutely pivotal to being able to have a strong public safety department and ability to protect the public, both here in Harrisburg and throughout the nation. And yesterday, 3 police officers were shot, and 3 officers were shot, and 1 U.S. Marshal died protecting the people of Harrisburg, doing their job to make sure that we would be safe. And so I think the least we can do is to look out for their families, and I would call on everyone in the public to consider making a donation to this foundation. It has a proven track record, eliminating a mortgage, making it possible for that family, which does have children, to not have the weight of having to worry about their property or their home moving forward. I think is a wonderful gesture and a very meaningful gesture. So thank you, Tunnel2Towers Foundation, for making this possible, and we will continue to work together as a community to come together and make something positive out of this tragedy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Next, I'd like to ask Commissioner Thomas Carter to come on up and say a few words.
Thank you. On behalf of the citizens of Harrisburg, on behalf of my officers, I want to thank you, sir. Yeah. This is a very generous donation that the foundation is making, and I hope that the citizens of this great state and around the nation can contribute something. As I look around, I look up and I see my young officers up there. You know, what does a hero look like? What is a hero? Well, I tell you something, Chris Hill is a hero. He is a real American hero. He sacrificed his life to clean up a situation that he had nothing to do with. He gave his all. When we go serve these warrants, we have basically no control of knowing what's going to happen next. But without fear, without hesitation, U.S. Marshal Hill, he gave the ultimate sacrifice. That hurts because he's a brother. He's a brother with little kids and a wife. To us, he's a hero, but let's peel it back some. He's a father. He's a husband. He's a brother. He's an uncle. And that person was taken from us yesterday. We will not forget what he's done. We will not give up the fight against gun violence, against opioid violence. It's like Assistant U.S. Attorney Dave Freed said yesterday, we're going to win the day. We're going to win the night. We're going to win the whole thing because we will not back down. We will not turn our backs, and we will drive away evil. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So I want to emphasize here, and I'm going to ask you to help us out if you would, please. I'm going to give you ways that people can donate, and if you could, please, please, please report on that. If the story coming out of here is that we give $100,000 and that's it, it will not assist in reaching the ultimate goal, which is to pay off this mortgage. So if there's one story to come out of here, it's that we still need, even with our donation, we still need the people of this community, from this area, from this region, to please step up. And the way they can donate is by going to Tunnel2Towers.org. That's Tunnel2Towers.org. Or if you're like me and you don't like to use anything online, you can go to 844-BRAVEST. It's a toll-free number, 844-BRAVEST. And you will be able to make a donation that way. The last time we did this, by the way, and it's recently, and I think all of the media has this this contact available to them in the paperwork that's been handed out. If not, we'll get it to you just before Christmas this year, on December 21st, in New York City. We purchased, renovated, and handed over a turnkey-ready home to the 3 children of NYPD police officer Miasotis Familia, who was assassinated while sitting in a command unit in Bronx, New York on July 4th, 2017. She was a single mom, and she left behind these 3 children. The oldest daughter, who's only 20, is becoming the legal guardian of her brother and sister, who are 12 years old. They're twins. And as I said, this is the last time we appealed to the public, and we had overwhelming success, and we're able to do fantastic things. I also want to point out that monies coming into us will be used solely for the purpose of paying off this mortgage. We don't want you to think that we're doing it for general operations of the foundation or anything else. This money is coming directly in to assist paying off the mortgage for U.S. Marshal Hill. So with that, I'm going to open it up to questions. If you have questions, I do ask that they please be pertinent to what we're here talking about and nothing else at this point. So are there any questions?
How much money do you have to raise to pay off the mortgage in the city?
It's not up to us to announce what the mortgage is, Mac. We can't really do that. I will tell you this, we're kicking in $100,000, and I would say a good bet is we probably need to double that or a little bit more.
And your past efforts to do similar things have been pretty successful?
The last effort for New York City we just talked about raised over $800,000. And we needed it because of a New York City home. But, it sounds like a lot of money, maybe depending on where we are in the housing market. But yes, we have been very successful with this. We not only helped out New York City police officers when the 5 police officers in Dallas were assassinated a couple of years ago in July. We went down and we paid off the mortgages for their families also, paid off the mortgage for police officers at Mineo in Des Moines, Iowa. If you need additional information, we can provide you specifics, or just go on our website and you'll be able to find it. We also help out other first responders in that fire department and EMT. Okay? Yes?
If you raise more money than what the mortgage is, does that money also go to the family?
We are going to keep the money with the family. Now here's what we do, so you know, because this situation has come up and the questions come up before. We monitor this hourly, basically. And if, please God, the money starts coming in a way that we know we're getting close to our ultimate goal, we will have another very quick press conference right here to announce we've reached our goal, so people will stop donating. But if more money comes in than we need, we will go back to the family, and again, if you look online, you'll see we've done this. This is a relatively new house, but as a homeowner, you can never have enough repairs. If there's additional repairs need to be done in the house, we'll use it for that. And if not, it will go to the family. But just know, if they're donating for this cause, it's going to stay with this cause.
100%.
Yes, sir.
It's only been really a matter of hours. Can you guys give some background on how you guys got so quickly into this, or how the call came into you guys, or how you got involved?
Sure, Frank, you want to fill in on this?
So, being that I come from a family that had someone pay the ultimate sacrifice, we're always monitoring and looking for situations where we can help other families. My sister Mary yesterday afternoon saw this come across the news and immediately came in and said, Frank, we have to do something. We called the Army out, which is our great team at the Tunnel2Towers Foundation, and within minutes, we knew this is the right thing to do. We do it in extraordinary circumstances for first responders, because we can't do it for every first responders. In Deputy Hill's case, this is extraordinary. Served this country, served this community. So we felt it was vitally important that we do this. So that's how we came to this point. And I just want to reiterate that 100% of every penny to come in will go to this family. Will go to Deputy Hill's family. 100%, every penny.
And where was Mary when she saw that news?
She was at the foundation with me
Where? In New York?
in Staten Island, New York. Yes.
Have you been able to spend any time with Deputy Hill's family?
No, we would never invade their privacy at this point.
We have, however, through the U.S. Marshal's Office, reached out. And when the time's appropriate, and this is how we handle it across the country, when the time's appropriate, we'll certainly be in touch with them and we'll talk to them about how this is all going to work out. Any other questions? So I also want to make sure to thank, we have new friends in Harrisburg, and it's Bravo PR agency. Sorry if it's not your actual name, but I know it's Bravo. I called Sean Donnelly yesterday afternoon at like 4:45 once we decided to do this. And you're all here today as a result of their work. And as Frank said, it was like we mobilized an army. Everyone knows just how important this is and what a great benefit it will be to this family. They are donating their services for us also to this cause. So thank you so much. And we will be available for a few minutes afterwards. If you need to do a pull aside, please feel free. If not, thank you so much. Tunnel2Towers.org or 844 Bravest. Please help us out. Thank you.